to the recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. We back in the building. You know how we do. Every week we chop it up. We break it down. Everything that went down during the course of the week. Entertainment, a little politics, a little money talk, a little sports, whatever y'all want to talk about, we here talking about it. And like I said, and make sure while you're watching the show, leave a comment, subscribe to the YouTube page. You know, if there's something y'all want to talk about, let us know. We here for y'all as much as we here for us, because you know what I mean. You know, we're really just tired of, you know, turn on the news, you hear a whole bunch of bullshit. We're here to bring the real to y'all. We're here to hit y'all with the real opinions from like real people, not people paid off by somebody to say something about something. You know what I mean? So with that PSA being said, it's your boy Tommy Guns alongside my man Dav Noble. What up?
Yo, what's good? What's good, everybody? How y'all feeling?
Sha Montana, what's good?
Good, y'all.
Karev Ya, Heritage Hip Hop. Holla at him. Okay. Man, a few words. Shout to my man Big A. He'll be in the building a little bit later. Special shout to my man Sajin, aka Mayhem, behind the boards doing his thing. So we talked sports a little bit earlier. We talked the Nets Rockets trade. That might end up going nowhere. It might end up going somewhere. So we're gonna switch lanes real quick. We talked entertainment. We talked sports. Let's talk about something serious. And please, for once, let's try to avoid politics. But you almost can't avoid politics with this. Let's talk fake news. Because I feel like this is 2021. One of the dominating factors of 2020, which we're all trying to forget, was just the dominance of fake news in almost every facet of life, whether it's health, coronavirus talk, whether it's politics, whether it's just anything, man. I mean, you know, I heard cats talking about, you know what I mean, how, you know, some of these cats with the goats, and I'm like, man, you haven't even dropped the album yet. Like, the fake news was at an all-time high. We were surrounded by it. So I feel like we need to address fake news. What is it? How can we tell what is fake news from real news? How can you even tell what a legitimate source is from some obvious fake news? I feel like this is something we need to talk about. Y'all need to hear it. And goddamn, if you ain't see what happened at the Capitol last week, best believe a whole lot of people need to pay attention. Because, man, you saw when it went down, man. Redneck Thor wasn't playing. You know what I mean? So first things first, fake news. Sean Montana, how would you define fake news?
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. News that's fake.
I mean, but yet millions of people believe it.
Well, what I'll say is everybody believes what they see on TV. Like, I would say 99% of the people. If you ask me, everything on TV is fake news. All of that shit is fake. We have to understand that every single news outlet is controlled by people that are wealthy. They're gonna tell the story that they want you to hear. Whether it's Republican, whether it's Democrat. What I would say is a good way to filter, if you can, what's fake from the real, is look at multiple news outlets and see what these conflicting news outlets, these outlets that don't like each other, what they actually share in common. And you can get a part of the story. That still doesn't give you everything, but the best way you can really factor in, okay, these people are more conservative, they say this happened. These people are liberal, and they agree with this, you know, that this happened. To me, that's the best possible way, because the news is controlled, all of it.
Definitely. Yo, Dav Noble, fake news, I feel like, was especially in 2020, just like, yo, it was just like you couldn't avoid it, whether it was Facebook, Instagram, like Shah brought up on the TV. Like, how is it, you know, because like I said, we're all college educated here, you know what I'm saying? And I remember there was a class. It was like, I'm not in a class, but it's like when you would type a paper or, do like a research, whatever thesis, whatever it is, like, the facts that you put in, there was a certain way we had to put our sources. It had to be written a certain way. You know what I'm saying? Like, what I mean?
MLA format.
Yeah, it had to be formatted a certain way. Like, how is it that fake news has got so out of control in 2020 to the point where people are believing stuff which I don't want to say any logical person, but like anybody with a decent amount of logic or common sense, just by hearing it, would be like, what?
You know what it is, man? It's just it's click culture, in my opinion. People,
100%.
The attention span of people is so short, and everybody knows that. Even trolls and hackers and all that, like people who specifically target social media stuff to mislead people, to create things. Just you got a bunch of Lokis out there just creating mayhem just because they can, and it's fun. I think the whole idea of fake news is obviously Trump's thing. Like that's going to go with him because for him, it was, I guess, any news that favor his point of view. And now in general, I think that has become a term now because he used it so much to not only account for him when he used it to be like any media that was against him. Now it's kind of being thrown out. And I think the problem is a lot of times it's thrown out there necessarily because some of the news that is coming out is fake news. But I think now people are using the term to apply to news that they just don't, that doesn't fit their point of view.
Yeah, to discredit something they don't like.
Yeah, and I think that's when it starts to become dangerous. And I think the worst I saw it was when it came to just COVID, really. Because I think when you talk about things from a medical perspective, I understand that people, they don't trust the government. They don't trust, most medicine. And a lot of things, there's always these conflicting stories. And not to say that every story is false, but there are a lot of times that you hear about things that side effects to drugs, things like that, and there's things that you find out later on that people hid and they knew this drug was going to get this and they knew this side effect was this. So there's a lot of distrust. The problem with fake news is when you have topics such as health, it makes people feel that they can, now not saying that you can't educate yourself, but almost like because we're in this if I put something out there and it gets a bunch of likes, somehow I have the same amount of expertise to talk on this situation as, say, a medical professional or a doctor. Or now, granted, there are some doctors who are paid, there does exist that. But when it comes to news, you got to pay attention to facts, as many facts as you can. And you got to think past the headline. And I think a lot of people don't do that. They don't think past the headline. So you have a lot of things that may sound plausible to someone's ear who may not understand how stuff works. And so you'll get the bullet points of something. And someone's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. And then they'll share that as evidence.
Yeah. Or the one shred of evidence embedded in whatever that article is.
Yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's really crazy. But I mean, people are skeptical, and they have a right to be skeptical because, the world is a effed up place.
Yeah. It's like in some ways we're drowning in information. I feel like this honestly goes back even before Trump. I think Trump just was able to weaponize it. But back in the day, like I remember, being a kid, it's like, Russia versus America and freedom versus, government tells you what to do. Like there was a time when I think that the the powers that be who are against us, or just against like freedom, quote unquote, they were like, chill, we gotta hide this information. We can't let it get out. We can't let people get access to this information. But I think somewhere along the line, they figured out that, you know what? We can't stop information from getting out in this world. It's just not realistic. So what should we do? And I think they figured out, you know what? The best way to hide information is in a whole bunch of other information, and half of it's not even. I mean, so I think right now there's so much information out there that's true, that's accurate, and then there's not, that's bullshit, that it's hard for the average person to decide, like, yo, is this true? Is this true? I'm reading this, but I'm reading. I mean, so I feel like now it's just that the propaganda game, like, they stepped it up from like those Cold War, us versus the Soviet day. Like, they realized, like, nah, man, like, we're in the information age. You can't change that, but you can make it harder for them to find the real information.
But it's also the fact that you have a bunch of people just in general who, you know, are in a position to be a source of news.
Yeah.
So it's like, and it's so easy to get people to follow you as a source of news, as a source of whatever. And, you know, I think it's just part of that. People, they want to hear content. They want to hear what people are thinking. They want to, you know, they're going to agree with some things. They want to be disagreeable about other things. I think it's just the thing that people, especially in this pandemic, everybody's home. Like, everybody has so many ideas, thoughts, whatever. So I think just in this period, it's been so rampant because everybody's home. Like, everybody's literally on their phones because you can't go out. That you're working. Most of us, like me, you know, I'm quarantined from work. You know, you can only go into work for certain things. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's got a schedule. Like, I think there's less distractions. So when everybody can read an article or breeze an article and they can share it, and then that news story goes around 100 times, you know, it gets spread so quickly. Shoot, I've been, how many times I know I've done it, shared something on Facebook like, oh, so-and-so died. Like, dang, that's messed up. And it's something that happened like 4 years ago. I'm like, word? Like, damn, I just spread fake news. Like, you know what I mean? And sometimes you don't even think about it. So,
Karev, Heritage Hip Hop. Is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, social media in general, is that one of the major factors of fake news? Is it social media's fault, or is it something deeper?
I think Karev is muted.
Yo, I think the fake news has officially muted his mic because they don't want to hear the truth. Karev, you there?
I don't know.
I don't know what that was. Yo, shout to the fake news trying to shut the GoodFellaz down. Word. Yo, by the way, we want to hear from y'all. Leave a comment, leave a you know what I mean, whether you agree with us, whether you don't agree with us. This is, of course, will be on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, where a lot of you get your fake news information from. So whether you agree or disagree or however you feel about it, let the GoodFellaz know. We want to hear your opinion. Karev, you there?
Yeah, he's muted.
Yo,
Shaw, what you think, man? Where you feeling?
Is Facebook, Instagram, social media in general one of the main factors for fake news? Are they responsible for this epidemic of fake news that's out there, or is it something else and that's just kind of putting it out there?
Shaw.
Oh, I thought you was asking Karev. My bad.
We did the first time, then we asked you.
Oh, my bad.
That was all good.
It's fake news is 100% driven by people. You have people that just, because to begin with, what news do you even pay any attention to? You have people that just create accounts and all that. You know, you don't want to get your news from the Inquirer, right? To begin with, you want to get your news from one of the major networks. You get news from Fox, it has some credibility. You get news from CNN, it has some credibility. C-SPAN has some credibility. So when I say you compare earlier, when I said you compare conflicting news coming from different sources, I'm not saying throw in all the stupid, people that just want to give their opinion. You go with one of the major or some of the major networks that have some level of accountability with the people. You know what I mean?
So wait, IHateLiberals.com, probably not a good source?
Nope. And also,
all right, just making sure.
Because believe it or not, bro, like you read an article, you see bad grammar, 9 times out of 10 it's coming from one of these people that didn't proofread it, which also means they don't have a staff of editors and people to really, proofread and check the information.
It's not professional.
Right.
Yeah. But can we say that Facebook, because come on, we know a lot of people who, they pretty much get their news from Facebook, especially Facebook. Like, Twitter maybe a little bit, Facebook and Instagram. Like there's a lot of people I've seen who will post something or try to hit me with some facts from like a Facebook article. And I'm like, bruh, like you realize that's all bullshit. Like you realize if you go see that on no reputable news outlet.
I don't know if they're at fault, but they are definitely a platform for it because, like you said, fake news has always existed. It's just we knew where it was. Like you said, we were growing up. We knew the National Enquirer and like Sun Times like might have an alien somewhere, and you're like, that's fake. They even made fun of that in like Men in Black. But I think nowadays sometimes it's hard because the fakes are so close to real. Yeah. And I think especially in like times like this, there's some really weird people that they get off on giving out misinformation and throwing fires in rooms and watching stuff burn. Like, so you'll see people, sharing an article or it'll be like from a source and you're like, bro, that's not even a real source. Like, what is it? And they'll just, and rather than just be like, some people be like, oh, my bad. Like a lot of people will double down on that or they'll just share it and it'll get to a bunch of people. And then that, like I said, like it's crazy. It's just, we have access to create so much more than we used to. And people have the ability to instantly consume much quicker than they used to. So it's hard to decipher what's real and what's not, because like for me, if I see someone send me a YouTube video on like a scientist talking about this vaccine and this and that, like, do I really know?
You mean the lady who thought that was like alien abductions were real and all that? Remember that?
I mean, listen, I just mean in general, it's difficult because who's really going to go down the rabbit hole and really research every last bit of what this person is talking about? And if I haven't studied that, if I don't know, molecular bonds and compositions, like, am I really going to be able to understand what that person is talking about? So I think sometimes it's okay to, when in the midst of fake news, to err, on the side of the professionals, so to speak, even though I'm not saying blind allegiance, but the professionals, the people who are leaders in the field, the people who have been, I'm saying, like, to listen and filter what is coming from them.
Yeah, with common sense.
Yes, with common sense and, and filter. But I think, people just got to stop looking for news to fit what they want to believe.
Yes. I feel like, and Karev, we'll see if the fake news has unmuted Karev mic in a minute, but I think it's kind of like almost like a cycle. I think people, mind you, there's a such thing as professional trolls, troll farms who, for propaganda reason, actually make fake news and put it out there. But a lot of people just want to be right. So instead of researching or putting out the actual facts, they search for information that just fits whatever opinion they're trying to get across, whether it's right or wrong, which, it just, and it gets like literally, like you said before, they double down on whatever they said instead of being like, you know what, my bad, I shared an article that was incorrect. Let me delete that. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, I see Big A's in the building.
Big A in the building. The corrupt fake media news has finally let him come on the podcast with the GoodFellaz. What up?
Oh, he's muted though. I see it.
Nah, I'm here. I'm here.
Okay, his mic isn't muted. It's good. Did we
Hey, what up, man?
What's good, y'all? What's good?
What's good? Yeah, we're talking fake news right now. Why is it such a major issue these days? Like, where does it come from? Is social media responsible? What's your take on the whole fake news situation?
I mean, it's sad to say it, but you know, you got a lot of people out there that they professionalize in spreading fake news. You know, they follow after the supposed leader, Donald Trump, and you know, in 2020 he was actually named the main source of fake news, like the most ever put out there. I've never heard anybody actually have that title of the biggest spreader of fake news. So, you know, fake news started with Donald Trump. That whole phrase of fake news really was emphasized during the Trump era. And people are going to continue to do it because they're not satisfied. It's really sad that you can't have an adult realize that you could lose and still win at the same time. But now he's being a double loser, and he's going to go out as the worst president ever in our country.
Absolutely. Have you ever saw something on Facebook or I don't know, Instagram, whatever? It seemed legit. You shared it, and then like later on, someone's like, "Yo, bro, like, nah, man," and then you was like, "Oh shit," like, I mean,
yes. I've made that mistake in the past, but I don't mind being corrected because I don't want to put out something that's not real or legitimate. You know what I mean? You don't want to put out false information, and you don't want to be known as the person who spread false information. Like, this is clearly something that you don't want to have that title of. So I'm quick. If I made a mistake or if I put something out there that's irrelevant, I'll delete it, and I'll even address it, you know, one-on-one to the person that corrected me and appreciate it. You know, it's good to be corrected. You know what I mean? Nobody knows everything. But if you continue to believe in a lie, like Trump was cheated out the election, which is clearly a lie, you know, you continue on what we call fake news.
Karev, yeah, Heritage Hip Hop has the corrupt fake media news finally unmuted your mic.
Did he join back?
Nah. Well, Donald Trump just does not want him to address fake news, man. I mean, I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we're working on that right now. But can we say that this cult-like behavior from a lot of these Trump supporters is it caused by the fake news epidemic? And at this point, do you think they even care that it's fake? Do they just want to believe what they want to believe?
I think most people want to believe what they want to believe, and they want to believe the things that make them happy and make them feel secure and make them feel, you know, all good and bubbly inside, because everything else outside is pure terror. I mean, you got people, look, 1,000, 3,000 people dying a day. Like, that's real. That's real. Yeah. So if you can spin and live in some fantasy where you are now some sort of patriot liberating democracy, and you see yourself as, you know, Thomas Jefferson or, you know, Paul Revere or whatever forefather that you are, you know, touching yourself for some reason, like, yo, it's like, if that's who you want to be and that's who you see yourself as, and yeah, you're gonna look at any fake news and say, yeah, that's it, like that's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, I think people are people, bro. Like, it just happened. This is just a sad part that what people allowed this to build and build and build and build until it got to this point. And now everybody has to look and say, like, yeah, bro, like, fake news can cause some real damage if you don't cut the nonsense first. Like, just cut the nonsense first. We can have disagreements on, you know, vaccines and whether, you know, side effects or this and that, but like stuff like Trump won the election, like stuff like that you gotta cut that kind of fake. You gotta get rid of that. You gotta cut that at the root and kill that stuff. Or, you know, 5G causes coronavirus.
Remember that? Remember when 5G caused the coronavirus?
Bro, like, you know, yeah, stuff like that. You gotta kill that stuff. Like,
and you couldn't tell people nothing Like it was at the point where you would break it down, drop the science. Yo, the thing is like the people that believed it, you couldn't tell them nothing. Like no facts were good enough, no source was good enough. They just wanted to believe 5G was just hitting you with the Rona. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I just think it's just people looking for information. Like you said, people are starved for information, and when you are starved or when you are bombarded with so much information, you have access to so much information as we do today, and you don't have an attention span like most people don't really have. Most people are not really digging into the topic or the article and then reading the other two articles to make sure that article is, sounds good. They're reading an article, reading a couple of words in there, copying a sentence and then pasting it, and then probably not even being worried about it. It's all about clicks, yo. Yeah. It's all about clicks and likes, dude.
Shaman.
This show isn't just about clicks and likes. This show is about you, the people.
Word. Sean Montana, have you got into I guess social media fights, or like have you lost friends or gotten into disagreements with friends or people you know over fake news?
All the time.
All
the time.
What happened? Like, is there a situation in particular that you remember? Did you guys get over it? Did you actually lose like I guess a Facebook friend or something over something you knew clearly wasn't true?
I mean, during the election, when I was pulling all these Democrats cards, a lot of you had people jumping on my page and they had more of an agenda, as opposed to coming with facts. So, I wouldn't say I lost friends. There are people that are friends on social media that are not real life friends.
Yeah.
Yes. Like y'all are my friend, real life friends. And then you got people that are just like, honestly, I don't even know why you added me on social media to begin with. You know what I'm saying?
Word.
It's like they're only around to argue.
Word. Yeah. Oh my God, those people annoy me.
Nothing's worse than the people you don't hear about them. Like, whatever you post on Facebook, they don't like it. They don't comment. They don't show you any love. But let you put like I guess a quote unquote controversial topic up there. Yo, bro, they writing essays. Like, nah, let me tell you. Like, yo, who are you? I haven't seen you in like 10 years. Like, you know what I mean?
Social media peeves has got to be a topic for a later date, yo.
Yeah.
Social media peeves are things that just tick you off, yo. Because what you're talking about is
I think we all have an idea of who we're talking about too, which is like funny enough. Like, I'm sure, like, we're not gonna throw no names out there, but I'm sure we have a couple mutual friends who the only time you hear from them is like when they want to debate, and it's like, yo,
it's like
a pick first.
They created two of them.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, I was like, yo, you can't like a pick first before we get into this Facebook debate. I mean, damn, you know what I'm saying?
I can't subscribe to the channel first.
Word, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least let me get a share or something. Yo, has anybody lost, like, I guess a Facebook friend or whatever, or got into a situation with somebody off of some fake news?
Yeah, bro, like that's happened a lot, and I don't even be trying to spread or share fake news, but I usually let people do what they do, and I've learned to, because every now and then you gotta, if you don't troll every now and then on social media, it's like you gotta do it every now and then. You gotta post, you know what I'm saying? But for the most part, it's like I tried to get into arguments, but sometimes when people post things and I'm like, really? Like, you believe that? Like, I guess I've lost respect for certain people because of not necessarily having a different view. I don't really care about that, but sometimes it's what your view is that I'm like, I don't know if you can come back from that, like kind of thing. So, but even still, like, I don't unfriend people. I don't unfollow people. I've wanted to, but I feel like if I'm gonna be, somebody that, is willing to listen and talk to anybody about anything really, then, I gotta be able to listen to the stuff that I really don't want to hear. And even sometimes it gets crazy, but I'll entertain it. But nah.
Yo, I just want to say, I had to get rid of two people. One person I found out was an undercover racist, and he got in an argument with a relative that he didn't know was a relative, actually my uncle. And then the other person was somebody I didn't even know really. I knew of because I didn't really interact with that person during high school, and I guess somebody who just felt like we were cool or whatever, and he started saying some racial undertone stuff that I had to put him in check online, and then I was like, you know what, I don't tolerate stuff like that. I have friends and people from all walks of life. Whether you respect what they do or don't, is regardless, that's their business. But you don't get on my platform and use it as your platform to spread your agenda. You don't spread your agenda on my platform. I don't come to your platform and disrespect you or anybody that you may interact or who may be related to you. You just don't know. So don't come on mine and be rude in that same manner. So yes, I had to get rid of two people, and I had no problem. I didn't lose no sleep about it at all.
Absolutely. Karev Yah, has the corrupt fake media news allowed you a voice on this podcast?
Can you hear me?
There we go. There we go.
Yo, I don't know what happened, Joe. I don't know.
Yo, I told you about surfing IHateLiberals.com.
Yo. Oh, Parler.com. Dead on arrival. Word up.
So, Karev, yeah, we only have a couple minutes left, but real quick, have you ever been in a situation on social media where you actually, I don't know, had to get rid of a real life, social media friend because they just kept hitting you with the bullshit?
No, people don't talk to me online.
They don't. They don't
talk to me at all. If you think I'm tame here, no, people don't talk to me at all. And certain people that y'all have seen me around don't talk to me anymore because I'll bite their heads off. Pause.
Okay. Have you ever?
I lost his mind.
Bills.
Yo, have you ever unintentionally spread fake news?
I spread fake news purposely.
That's the realest answer I heard all day, man. Yo, salute the heritage hip hop, man. Yo, that's the realest answer I heard. Speaking of, well, you know what? We're gonna. It's time to pay them bills. We can't get no real in that answer right there. Heritage hip hop, Karev Yah. Let them know where they can reach you at. And tell them how dope heritage hip hop is.
HeritageHipHop.com is where we introduce your future favorite artists to you today. So by going to HeritageHipHop.com, you support independent artists, independent views, and the brothers that you see right here. So you can subscribe to Heritage Hip Hop on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere you stream your podcast to get your interviews, and storefrontier.com/heritage hip hop. We got new hoodies out showing our certified collection where we have our ambassadors, our honors, MCs that's out right now. Salute.
Will there be fake news on heritagehiphop.com?
All the time, because some of them albums that y'all think is hot just ain't.
Okay, that's what's up. Yo, Big A, what's good? Let them know where they can reach you at online, social media.
What's going on, everybody? It's your man Big A. Shout out to everybody out there. You can reach me at AHDAYAR. I'm glad to be here. This is GoodFellaz Radio, GoodFellaz TV, the crew, the family here. Tommy Guns, Shy, Dav, Karev. Y'all, just my brothers, my real friends. These aren't my virtual friends. These are my real friends. And yeah, this is family right here. So, Tommy, let them know where they can reach you at, brother.
I mean, you catch me in these internet streets, you know what I'm saying? Facebook, Instagram at DJ Tommy Guns. Of course, GoodFellazTV.com for all the real news, opinions, new music, hot chicks, and everything that you could possibly want on a dope website. Check it out. No fake news. We only bring you the real. You know what I mean? And my man, speaking of news, we can't talk about news unless we talk about my man, Dav Noble. AEP Presents, the Facebook page, always has the latest news on entertainment, pop culture, movies, all that good stuff. Dav, holla at him.
Yeah, man. You did a good job on that one, yo. If y'all want to come and be a part of a good Facebook community, you can hit me up on A.E.P. Presents First Thoughts. A.E.P presents First Thoughts. It's a pop culture group, man. We talk politics, we talk movies, we do all sorts of fun stuff, man. If you want to hit me up for photography, hit me up on IG. DAV_AEP. That's DAV_AEP.
Yeah, man. This is the recap with the GoodFellaz podcast. We does this for y'all every week, bringing you the real, no fake news, only real opinions, real information, and of course, it's real entertaining. We're gonna come back. We're gonna pay some bills. More on the way. We are the GoodFellaz. This is the recap podcast. See y'all in a minute.